Well, hello. It's the hardcore legend Mick Foley. And I want to tell you that you are watching your boy Daleks Man, the absolute best wrestling commentator on YouTube. Just the best there is. The best there was. Best there ever will be too when it comes to wrestling commentators on YouTube. Daleks Man or nothing for me. Mick Foley, the hardcore legend. Have a nice day.
Alright, what's up everybody? You know who it is. It is your boy, Daleks Man. First off, as you guys know, we lost a living legend. Today, actually. I'm going to read what WWE has issued on WWE.com because I feel that's appropriate. But Bruno Sammartino, one of the greatest of all time, a living legend, the living legend in the world of wrestling, has passed away. Here's what WWE.com has said. It is saddening the entire... let me try this again. I'm sorry. Let me read this properly. WWE is saddened to learn that Hall of Famer Bruno Sammartino has passed away at the age of 82. 82. That's a good life. Not a lot of wrestlers live to really the age of 42 or 40. He lived to see 82. He had a good life. When I say good life, maybe I should preface this by saying he had it rough at the beginning of his life. But in terms of the longevity of it, he was able to live for a good while. And I always respect people who can live that long and actually get a chance to see the fruits of their labor. Because during his childhood in Italy, Sammartino heard stories about how the streets in the USA were paved with gold. Though he believed it literally, Sammartino would experience fortune and fame firsthand as the longest reigning WWF, WWE champion and the most beloved competitor in the history of the Squared Circle. Now, he held that belt for 8 years. 8 years. That's a long time. Ain't nobody touched Bruno's record. I don't think anybody will ever touch his record. It says here that his life wasn't so glorious. Bruno's brother and sister both passed away at young ages, and Adolf Hitler's Nazi forces seized their town. Wow. But Bruno persevered. He and his mother hid in a mountain during the German occupation and eventually joined his immigrant father in Pittsburgh in 1950. He began lifting weights as a young man and grew to become one of the strongest men on the planet. After setting a record in 1959 by bench pressing 565 pounds, Sammartino caught the eye of Vincent J. McMahon, the father of Vincent Kennedy McMahon, and the rest is history. It doesn't say here what he passed away from, but it is what it is. You know, the living legend, Bruno Sammartino. That's pretty cool. That's a long time to live. 82 years. But it does make sense. Now, I'm being told that he had 2 reigns, and combined, they were 11 years combined in his championship reigns. Wow. That's huge. That is huge. But, yeah. Rest in peace, Bruno Sammartino. I am saddened to not be alive. You know, I wasn't born when he was at the peak of his life, peak of his career. Because this happened during the 70s, before there was a Hulk Hogan. And yeah, there was Andre the Giant, but he wasn't like the Andre the Giant that we know him as before Bruno. It was Bruno. Before there was Andre, before there was Hogan, there was Bruno. So we owe a lot to him. Super chat. Why not? Mr. Michael Law, 2011. $2. Thank you so much. Thoughts on the WWE lip sync song thing? Awkward. You talking about that commercial where they were dancing and talking about the dual branded pay-per-views. If that's what you're talking about, I kind of like it. Yeah, it is awkward, but I liked it. Maybe that's just me. Okay, so we got that out of the way. Let's go ahead and get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy, Deluxe-Man, and you are watching my breakdown of the WWE Superstar Shakeup of 2018. We are going to look at both the results of Raw and SmackDown's shakeups, trades, drafts. Why can't we just call it the draft? It just makes a lot more sense. Both trades on both brands, how I feel this is going to affect WWE going forward, and ultimately answer the question, are we in for a good 2018? No, screw that. Are we in for a great year of wrestling for WWE in 2018? All of that will be answered today. But as always, if this is the first time you're watching your boy, you can do a couple of things. You can like the video, which would be awesome. Like that video, subscribe, and please click that bell. Because here on YouTube, if you subscribe, that's not enough. You gotta click the bell as well. But if you really want to help expand the brand of your boy, Deluxe-Man, you can do a couple of things. You can like me on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter at DeluxeManVX1, which is down below in the description box, as well as links to my PayPal and Patreon. If you want to help donate, you can do so with those, or use Super Chat, or just watch the video. The ads will run, and that helps me out too. But most importantly, you can buy yourself a Deluxe-Man t-shirt today at Pro Wrestling Tees. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and get into this Superstar Shakeup breakdown. So, I gotta be honest with you. Just right off the bat, I'm happy with this shakeup. I am very pleased with the results of what we got for both Raw and SmackDown. Both rosters, for the most part, there are some things here and there we can make better. I'm not gonna say it was perfect, but for the most part, are fairly balanced and have enough fresh new talent on both shows to create new stories in 2018. And I think that speaks volumes, because last year it was horrible. Last year SmackDown got, for lack of a better term, raped. It got pillaged. It got plundered. It got absolutely obliterated by the shakeup. And then we were left with Jinder Mahal being a 6-month WWE champion. Yeah, it wasn't good at all. This year, I feel like we can do so many more things better. And for both shows, I'm excited to see what they can do. I'm shocked, honestly, that looking back on my mock draft that I did before the shakeup, the results are more accurate with my mock draft than they are with my predictions. Because the predictions I made, I'll be real with you, were based on the fact that I thought WWE was going to screw things up. I was certain AJ Styles was going to Raw. Either AJ or Bryan. You know, I thought the Usos were going to Raw. No! Usos, Bryan, and AJ stayed on SmackDown. The only thing I'm shocked about is that Charlotte didn't go to Raw. I thought for sure Charlotte was going to Raw, and it would have made sense, honestly. But no. Charlotte also stayed on SmackDown. When you look at it, on paper, and again, this is on paper. Maybe as time goes by, we'll see which brand is the superior one. But on paper, SmackDown got away with highway robbery. I feel like SmackDown came out with the best in this draft, which is good, because it needed to. SmackDown was completely, absolutely obliterated. Again, I can't find the right word for it. It was embarrassed by last year's shakeup. And this year, it needed to get something from Raw. And it got a lot. So I'm happy that we're going to get some, what seems to be really good feuds, really good matches, really good stories from SmackDown in 2018. Now, I know a lot of you are very concerned with the creative direction we have on SmackDown, as you should. Road Dogg Jesse James is still writing the show. At the same time, though, I think with the roster we have, even someone like Road Dogg, as bad as he is, would have to really try. And I mean really try, as in sabotage himself try, to make this show suck. So if Road Dogg can't write a good show with this roster, yeah, he definitely needs to step down. Like, even if he doesn't get fired, he himself needs to step down. He needs to go, God, I suck. And just step down. Seriously. So, I have a couple of things I want to talk about. Like, not necessarily tips, more like requests. Because again, I don't write for WWE. I don't own my own show. So I'm not going to give a tip to the wrestling company that, first off, will probably never hire me, because I'm not someone that would just sit back and just be okay with everything. I speak up, and they don't like someone like me. But has never worked in the wrestling business. So this is not a tip. It's more of a request. So I have 3 requests for WWE going into this new season that's going to lead to WrestleMania 35. My first request: trades are a thing. Okay? I know a lot of people don't like it when certain wrestlers go to a certain brand. Maybe you're on SmackDown, then in the middle of the year, after SummerSlam, they go to Raw. I know people hate that, but I think that used to happen a lot more often. Because that used to happen back in the day. You don't have to wait until a draft for someone to switch brands. I personally would like it if we got a trade in the middle of the year. It's perfectly okay to switch superstars in the middle of the year. Perfectly okay. Like, for instance, I still think eventually Charlotte should go to Raw. We got to have Charlotte on Raw, because eventually we need to do Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte. If any match has the possibility of main eventing WrestleMania, that's the match right there. Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey. It can't happen if these two are on different brands. And it has to be for the championship. For me, I feel like, yeah, they can still do it. It can be a cross-promotional match. But no, a match like that needs to be for the championship. It has to be. It has to be for the championship. Charlotte versus Ronda Rousey cannot be a singles match that just happens to be at WrestleMania. No. Sorry. That needs to be for the championship. So, I wouldn't be shocked if we do a trade with Charlotte in the middle of the year. And I'd be okay with it. So that's my first request. Like, think about doing some trades to mix things up. My second request: creative matters. Creative matters. I just got done talking about Road Dogg, and I'm sorry. Since he's been on top, SmackDown has been horrible. It hasn't been nearly as good as when Ryan Ward was writing the show in 2016. Anybody will say that. And I think it just goes to show you how one person can ruin an entire show, an entire product. And I'm not saying Road Dogg is a bad person. Please don't take this personally as me saying he doesn't deserve everything that he's gotten. He's a legend. Him and Billy Gunn during the Attitude Era, one of the highest acts there. I think as a talent, he's great. I think as maybe a coach, a promo coach, an agent, I wouldn't mind him being in the company. But as a writer, he's horrible. And the thing is, he's so old school. His mindset is, this is what worked for me back then, so it'll work now. No. What worked for you back then, the anti-Americans, these tag team matches weekly to stop us from seeing singles matches, having the same matches over and over and over again with no build-up, with no story behind it. Like, that might have worked back then when we weren't doing 2-hour, 3-hour shows every week. But you can't do that now. It doesn't make any sense. If the storytelling and role placements are off, Raw or SmackDown, the shows are going to suck. The right people need to be in the right roles. Whoever's a babyface, whoever gets over naturally as a babyface, needs to be a babyface. Whoever gets over naturally as a heel needs to be a heel. Don't do this. There are no heels, no babyfaces. I'm tired of that. No, we need to tell stories. And every story needs a protagonist and an antagonist. The ones who do good in those roles need to play those roles very well. So, please, enough with the baby faces and heels don't matter anymore. You know what? I'm also getting tired of this whole idea that wins and losses don't matter. Here, in the world of wrestling, if you're going to make people invest in these matches, wins and losses need, not should, but need to matter. They both should and need to matter. Otherwise, what's the point? Why have championship matches? Why even do wrestling if wins and losses don't matter? Everything matters. The in-ring product, the storytelling, the characters, the way you produce the show. It all matters. Hashtag it all matters. I just created a new hashtag. It all matters. And for someone to say wins and losses don't matter, that should be a red flag. I still don't understand why he's even producing the show if wins and losses don't matter. Okay? Yes, characters matter. Yes, storytelling matters. But also the in-ring action matters as well. And the results matter. It all matters. Creative needs to be on point. Otherwise, it doesn't matter how good these rosters are. It's just not going to pan out well for the viewers. My third request, and this one's big. This is the big request. I really do hope here in 2018, WWE experiments as much as possible with their roster. What do I mean by this? You have two very flexible rosters. You have certain wrestlers that can be in the mid-card, in the tag team division, and the main roster. You can just flip them. You can do a lot of roster rotations here. Like NXT does. You have a roster, solid rosters on both shows to where every wrestler doesn't have to be on every single show. Now Raw, because it's 3 hours, you kind of have to maybe put everybody on the show. But SmackDown, you don't need to have everybody on every show. You don't have to have Daniel Bryan wrestle every week. You don't. You can have Daniel Bryan in a talking segment backstage. You can have AJ Styles wrestle 1 week and then give him a break. Nakamura wrestle 1 week and then give him a break. Nakamura hasn't wrestled for the last 2 weeks. That's okay. You can have him wrestle next week. But do that. You have rosters here where an Apollo Crews can go from tag team to competing against Seth Rollins for the IC Championship, or maybe in the, hey, I'm not saying it'll happen, maybe in the near future, he could be fighting a Brock Lesnar. Same thing with Bobby Lashley. Same thing with a big cast on SmackDown. Experiment. Really test the limits with your roster. Jason Jordan's coming back. Dean Ambrose is coming back. There are so many things we can play with here. Don't be so what's the word I'm looking for? Don't be so linear. Don't be so boxed in with, oh, we gotta do things this way. No, screw that. Roman Reigns shouldn't, he probably can, but shouldn't always be in the main event. We can't always put Roman in the last match. Alright, let's have someone else be the guy for a little bit. Because I think if you have someone else be the guy, it makes Roman a little bit more easier to appreciate. So when you do go back to him being the guy, we might like him a little bit more. Like you did with John Cena. Because John Cena was the guy for so long, we ended up hating him. So when you took him away from that spot, fans like him a little bit more now. I'm not saying they love him, but they like him a little bit more than they did before. So we should really think about experimenting here in 2018. And look, I'm not saying this is all of a sudden, if I get all of these requests answered, everything's going to be just as good as the Attitude Era. Let's get something straight here. I don't want the Attitude Era back. The Attitude Era was a special time. I don't ever see that coming back. If it does, sweet. But I don't see it happening. Matter of fact, if I had it my way, I wouldn't be trying to bring back the Attitude Era. I personally would be trying to create a new era. I'm always trying to see, how can I top myself? NXT has this mentality of, alright, NXT TakeOver this month was amazing. How can we top that? How can we top that? How can we top that? How can we top this? That's the mentality the main roster needs to have. It shouldn't be lazy that, okay, we're not gonna try this week. We'll wait till SummerSlam to try. No, screw that. Try every single freaking week. Every single week, you should be thinking, okay, Raw this week was How can we top Raw next week? How can we top Raw next week? And the week after that, and the week after that, and the week after that. Now, every time you're not gonna top yourself every time. But the mentality is, I want to be able to top myself every single week. And that's what I want. Super chat from Mr. Michael Law, 2011. Can we get a fantasy booking segment in this live stream? We'll see. We'll see how it works. But the mentality I want from WWE. always look to top yourselves. Always look to produce the best shows possible. You're not going to get it right every time. Hell, you might experiment with, let's say, Jason Jordan in the main event scene, and he might flop big time. But that does two things. First off, you experimenting makes it spontaneous. It makes the audience go, oh wow. Okay, if Jason Jordan can get a main event push, maybe Chad Gable will get it. And then you try Chad Gable, and he's amazing. Okay? Not saying it'll happen like that. Maybe Jason Jordan will be good. I'm just using him as an example. You never know who's good and who's not. But you gotta give them a shot. And you giving them a shot makes your show spontaneous, which in fact will make it more interesting and make fans want to tune in every single week. I shouldn't predict the main event before it happens. I shouldn't be going into the show thinking, okay, Ronda Rousey's not going to fight this week, and Roman Reigns will be in the main event. You know what? I know a lot of people don't agree with this. I think Ronda should at least wrestle on Raw one time a month. Well, she should wrestle once a month, period, but if she's here full time, she should wrestle more than that. The point is, why can't Ronda fight on Raw? Why do we have to wait to pay-per-views to see her fight? Screw that. Hell no, she's here full time. She should wrestle on Raw. Same thing goes for SmackDown. We need to do something with these shows that'll make fans go, okay, I can't miss this. And if you do that, guess what happens with reviewers like me? We'll be here to praise you. We'll be here to make sure that you get all the respect that you deserve. Because you do deserve it. If you do it right, of course. I want to come up here and be happy. I want to come up here and be glad to talk about wrestling. I don't want to come up here and rant. Not all the time. I like coming up here and just talking. Just being happy about the stories I'm seeing every single week. How it's paying off. The lead up to it. The matches that I got from it. And the development of the characters that came from those stories. Man, I want to see them do great things with Baron Corbin and Drew McIntyre and Andrade Cien Almas. I don't want to be scared. I don't want to be terrified for these guys. Don't make me feel that way. Okay? I shouldn't have to be afraid that Sanity won't get the booking they deserve on SmackDown because Road Dogg's writing the show. I shouldn't have to feel that way. And if that's the case, if people in the company right now are scared, are terrified that hashtag Fire Road Dogg will end up ruining SmackDown, make the decision now to change your creative directions. Don't wait until it sucks to change it. No. Do it now before it happens. Have the foresight to go, creative is not where it needs to be. We need to change it. I want 2018 to be awesome. I want this to be good, man. So do not take my expectations before we even get a chance to see what you're able to do. Don't take my expectations and crumble them. My expectations for WWE, this will be a good year. A good year for wrestling. Not an amazing year, but it should be a good year. Now, you should work to exceed my expectations, but if you meet them, I'm happy. That's all I want, is a good year for wrestling in WWE. That was a long spiel. That was a long intro. I hope you guys caught that. Maybe I didn't. Let me make sure I didn't miss any super chats. Okay. Maybe I didn't take into effect the fact that this is WWE and every single year we get our hopes up for something different, for a change, and it never happens. I understand that. That's just how I am, y'all. I go in with hope. I go in with this idea that they're not going to screw this up. They have to want to put on a good product. And if they don't, why are you there? If you go in thinking we don't really care how we produce our shows, you're going to watch anyways, maybe it's time we change the people in charge. I'm just saying. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. Let's get into the results of the Superstar Shakeup. Let's start with Raw. Let's look at the Raw results. So let me pull it up real quickly. Here is the full breakdown of the Raw Shakeup. So here's everybody that got traded. I'm missing some people on the picture, namely Mike Kanellis and Maria Kanellis. But here's what we got. As a result of the Raw Shakeup, we got Jinder Mahal, Ruby Riott with the Riot Squad, Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan. We got Zack Ryder Mojo Rawley, who is apparently not in this picture. I apologize for that. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Natalya, Baron Corbin, the Fashion Police, that's Breezango, or Tyler Breeze and Fandango, Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre coming in from NXT, Mike and Maria Kanellis, like I said, couldn't find a picture of them, Bobby Roode, Chad Gable, and the Ascension. I am actually not too bothered by that, but when you really look at what Raw got in comparison to the Smackdown trade-offs, so let's do that real quick. So we saw the Raw trade-offs, so let's get rid of that. Now, let's look at the Smackdown trade-offs. We got the United States Champion Jeff Hardy, who won the belt from Jinder Mahal on Raw, and then Jeff Hardy was traded to SmackDown in his place. So we got Jeff Hardy, we got The Miz, who is a big catch for SmackDown. I think he's going to be great for SmackDown. We got Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. We're keeping us, Ascension, excuse me. We're keeping Absolution together. Don't know why. I hope they don't come out with Paige's theme. Can we split them up? Personally, I just think Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville should just be their own thing. I would love to see Mandy Rose do her own thing with her own theme song, and even Sonya. We don't really need to see them, again, in my opinion, we don't need to see them together. That's just how I feel. We got Samoa Joe, big catch. That's literally a main event player from Raw coming to SmackDown. That actually kind of hurts Raw when you think about it, but I'll get into that in just a second. Sanity coming in from NXT. Eric Young, Killian, Dain, Alexander Wolfe. No Nikki Cross, apparently. Nikki Cross is not coming to SmackDown, and I know a lot of people are upset about that, but I don't know. Maybe this is just me. I think Nikki Cross, although she really did add to Sanity, she didn't really need Sanity. I think she's going to be fine. I want to see what she can do on NXT as a singles competitor. She might surprise a lot of people. And when you think about it, NXT needs women. I thought about this too. They lost Ember Moon and Iconic, the Iconic duo. They don't really have a women's roster right now. So Nikki Cross kind of needed to stay on NXT. And that's okay. She'll probably be moved up soon where she can join Sanity. So I'm actually not upset at all about Nikki Cross staying on NXT. So that's just my thoughts on that. We got Big Cass coming in. We got Asuka. That's also a big catch for SmackDown. Asuka and Samoa Joe were honestly some of the best parts of Raw. And Raw lost both of them. And they didn't get anything else for that. We got Luke Gallows and Karl Anderson, which I predicted. Again, in my mock draft, I called Luke Gallows and Karl Anderson to come over from Raw. But I also thought Finn Balor was coming over, and Finn Balor stayed on Raw. I'm worried about that. A little bit. I don't know if Raw is the best place for Finn Balor, as of right now. If they work on his character and really build something around the demon gimmick, we can make that work for Finn. But I've always felt like he was a wrestler and a character, story driven show. People like Finn Balor should be on SmackDown, the wrestling show. That's how I always viewed it. I always thought SmackDown was the wrestling show. People like AJ, Bryan, and Finn should be on SmackDown. But he's staying on Raw, while his brothers, his Bullet Club brothers, Luke Gallows and Karl Anderson, are going to SmackDown. So the good news is, AJ, Luke Gallows, and Karl Anderson are back together. I've always felt they had better chemistry anyway, so those three should be good. But Finn Balor, I'm a little worried about. I'm also worried about the Revival. Revival did not get traded to SmackDown. That might be an issue. That might not be good for them. We'll talk about it in just a second. But to finish up the trades, we got Cesaro and Sheamus. So, this is why I'm happy about Cesaro and Sheamus. First off, awesome tag team. Great tag team, by the way. Main event players, though. Think about Cesaro and Sheamus splitting up and becoming main event players. Or mid-card workers for the United States Championship. and the main event scene. I'm telling you, WWE, if you experiment this year with your roster, you might actually find out you have a lot more main event players than you think. And I'm looking at people like Cesaro and going, man, if they were ever going to try him as a main event player, it is now. On SmackDown of all places. In the wrestling show. On the wrestling show. This is it. This is it for Cesaro. I want to see what he can do. Sheamus, sure. Main event player, mid-card, whatever. But this is the roster to do it with. Especially since you got Jeff Hardy, Bryan, and AJ Styles. And then we got people like R-Truth coming in. And here's a big pickup from NXT. Andrade Cien Almas with Zelina Vega. Yo. That's huge. I think it's safe to say SmackDown came out the winner. That's just my thought. I think SmackDown came out the winner when it comes to this draft. Some of you might disagree. I don't know how you can look at these results and think Raw won. Not really. I think SmackDown got away with highway robbery. But it needed to. Because by getting away with highway robbery, it balanced out the rosters. So now both shows could actually feel a lot more special than what they really are. Raw is going to be pushed to, not pushed, excuse me, better word, forced to make new main event talent. They have to at this point. They must. Because Samoa Joe's not there. They took him. They took Cesaro. Bryan and AJ are on SmackDown. They are being forced to make main event talent because Brock Lesnar's not there all the time. Ronda's there, but there's no promise she'll be wrestling every single week. But I do like this, though. I do like this because now we get to see maybe an Apollo Crews or a Baron Corbin or a Drew McIntyre or a Dolph Ziggler get that opportunity to showcase who they really are. They might surprise y'all. I'm excited. I really am excited to see what fresh new takes we'll get on the roster because of this shakeup. And that's all that matters. So let me do this. Let's take a break. Let's stop right here. And let's take a look at the live chat. By the way, I didn't do a roll call. I apologize. Let's do it right now. Roll call. Live chat. Who's here? In the middle of the show, I'm doing a roll call. That's how your boy the X-Man rolls. Oh, what? We Are Pro Wrestling. A YouTuber. One of my, in my opinion, one of the people I watch all the time on YouTube in terms of wrestling. Check him out. We Are Pro Wrestling. Go subscribe to him right now. Welcome, man. Ultra Shadow. Awesome Kid 254. Oh yeah, Mr. Krabs. Jaren Swaggy 808. Mr. Michael Law. Tie My Shoes. Fernando Estrada. Alejandre Costa. Movie Fan 04. Andrea. I'm gonna go with, is it Andrea or Andrea? I'm gonna go with Andrea. That sounds better. Andrea, Jake, Eddie Lamb Music, Aaron Sherwood, Super 57S. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the show. Matthew, Immortal God, Ivan, Jafia, B Lee 15. We got some new people in here. Again, if you're new, subscribe, please. Subscribe and like the video. Join in. A lot of people. David. Ramos? I'm going to go with Ramos. Eric Gonzalez. Cancer July 1989. Everything Pro Wrestling. Goku Black. Okay, that's everybody. Look, I wish I can be here all day just to name everybody, but we're getting more people coming in too. As I said that, Brendan Ryan, Isaiah Webb, JW, Atlanta fan for life. Welcome. I love you all. Thank you for joining me here for this live broadcast. As always, please interact. Please feel free to chat alongside your boy. Here's my question for you. So we looked at the results. I think we can all agree. SmackDown came out with the better of the draft, but it balanced off both rosters. My question to you is, who do you want to see in the main event picture a lot more in 2018? No, you know what? Let me rephrase it. What matches do you want to see? Let's go with that. Maybe that'll be a better question to ask. What matches do you want to see here in 2018? And I'll tell you my matches, because I might actually make a top 10 list literally right after I get done talking about the 4 rosters. And then we'll discuss matches we can see in 2018. So I'll do a top 10 matches I want to see from this draft down below in the comments, in the description. And then we'll talk about it in the live broadcast after I get done looking at the full roster. So, and everybody's already given me their matches. I'll get to them in just a second, guys. So let's go and look at this. Let's look at the full rosters as a result of the shakeup. Starting off with Raw. So here's the Raw roster after the... Well, that is the wrong photo. Get your act together, Deluxe man. Here it is. Here's the Raw roster after the shakeup. I think for the most part, I got it down. As of right now, we don't have tag team champions. If I had to predict, maybe Authors of Pain, or maybe Bray Wyatt and Woken Matt Hardy. But, besides that, we kept the IC champion Seth Rollins on Raw. Because this is Raw, is Rollins, after all. Nia Jax is the women's champion. And Brock Lesnar is your top champion. So, looking at the roster, we got Alexa Bliss, Alicia Fox, Ascension, Connor and Victor, Authors of Pain, Apollo Crews. By the way, he is called Apollo Crews again. They changed his name back to Apollo Crews. Baron Corbin, Bayley, who didn't go to SmackDown. She's staying on Raw. Bo Dallas, Bobby Lashley, Bobby Roode. So both Bobbies are on Raw. Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt, Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman. Chad Gable, which is honestly a pick that needed to happen. I've always felt, even though SmackDown was the better show, Chad Gable is someone that can fit on both Raw or SmackDown, like Velveteen Dream. He has a good personality. And I think once we know who he is on Raw, I think he'll even be better for SmackDown in the near future. Kurt Hawkins, Curtis Axel, Dana Brooke, Dean Ambrose, who is scheduled to return from injury soon. I don't have a date, but he's coming back soon. Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, who I think is going to be killer. Elias, who wants to walk with Elias. Ember Moon. Goldust, who I honestly think should go to SmackDown. But no, personalities, characters. A character-driven show should have Goldust more than a wrestling show. Jason Jordan, Jinder Mahal, needed to be on Raw, so I'm happy he's on Raw. John Cena. I have John Cena and Taker on both rosters because they're free agents. You don't know where they're going to go. Kane, Kevin Owens, Liv Morgan, Matt Hardy, Woken Matt Hardy, Mike and Maria Kanellis, Mickie James, Mojo Rawley, Nia Jax, your women's champion, Natalya, No Way Jose, Ronda Rousey, Ruby Riott, Sami Zayn, Sarah Logan, Sasha Banks, Seth Rollins, Slater and Rhino, Roman Reigns, Titus O'Neil, and Zack Ryder. So, not a bad roster overall. And then when you look at, if I was to break these guys down into their divisions. So let's do that real quickly. Let's go ahead and break this down into their divisions. So, imagine, if you will. Let's go ahead and get my face back on camera. Imagine, if you will, this main event picture. I'm just going to name it to you. We got Brock Lesnar as the Universal Champion, of course. So, that goes without saying. Let me get the live chat up so I can make sure I don't miss any live chat, super chats. So, alongside Brock Lesnar, we got Baron Corbin, who can be mid-card or main event. We can have Bobby Lashley and Bobby Roode, both the Bobbies. I would really test out Bobby Roode as a heel. I think as a babyface, there isn't much to him. We tried it out for a year. It's not working for me. I feel like Bobby Lashley would be so much beneficial, so much more beneficial to the roster as a heel. Let's try him out as a heel. It's time. We got Braun Strowman, one of the most over talent, main event player, but if you want to try him out in the mid-cards, you can as well. I mean, I think him and Seth Rollins would have an awesome match for the IC Championship. I would want to see that. Bray Wyatt, if you want to, keep him babyface, please. Keep Bray Wyatt babyface. Do not go back to the boring, played-out heel Bray Wyatt. I think he's doing awesome right now as a babyface. Matter of fact, I think he might do some good things going forward. We got Dean Ambrose. Please bring him in as a heel. Please bring him in as a heel. Do not do this thing where you bring him in as a babyface and then you wait 3 months to turn him into a heel. No, you have a story to work with. He was injured, he got hurt, and Rollins moved on without him. He replaced him with Jason Jordan. Ambrose is insulted by that. He's crazy. He'll take that as an insult, run with that. He'll be an awesome heel. You don't have to come in with, I'm a babyface now and I'll turn heel later. Don't kill his momentum. Bring him in as a heel immediately. Dolph Ziggler should be okay. Hopefully. He has Drew McIntyre as his Diesel, his bodyguard. We're doing the whole HBK Diesel story with Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. Okay, let's see how that works. I don't know if that will... Eventually, they're going to split them up. And Drew's going to go babyface, which is cool with me. But I don't know what that will do for Ziggler. If his whole goal is to help put over Drew McIntyre, alright, cool. I like that. So that's a tag team for now, I suppose. And then you got Jinder Mahal, a good, solid heel character you can use for the mid-cards, for the main event scene if you want. If you want. I'm not saying that it'll happen that way. But you can use that. You can use that heel heat to really make baby faces look strong. Matter of fact, I wouldn't mind if they did Brock and Jinder like for a squash match on Raw one good time. As I said, John Cena can go back and forth between SmackDown. Then you got people like Kane, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, of course Roman Reigns. That's a given. Taker, again free agent. Check this out, Matt Hardy. Why not? I thought about that. Why can't Matt Hardy get a main event shot? Especially with this character. Matt Hardy versus Brock Lesnar. I would love to see that match just to see how the characters would interact with each other. That again is the benefit of having a character-driven show like Raw. It could be more about what the characters are doing and less about the execution of moves. That's what I was thinking about. Like, in that environment, I would like to see how a character Matt Hardy would wrestle or fight a Brock Lesnar. But that's the main event. Like, that main event doesn't sound too bad. But then you look at the mid-card with Seth Rollins as the IC champion. You can do Apollo Crews. You can do Bo Dallas. You can do Curtis Axel. Chad Gable versus Seth Rollins sounds amazing. I want to see that happen. And then, of course, you can mix some main event players. You can do Baron Corbin, Bobby Lashley, Bobby Roode, Braun Strowman, Bray Wyatt, Dolph Ziggler, Ambrose, McIntyre. Ambrose and Rollins could definitely happen for the IC Championship. And I would buy that all the way. You got Elias. That's a good person for the mid-cards. You got Jason Jordan. Again, they might have to come back and do that feud with him as a heel. But then you got Sanity. We're thinking Sanity's going to be a tag team. We can do Eric Young. We can do Killian Dain. We can do Alexander Wolfe in the mid-cards if you want to. I buy it. Got Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. You can do them. You can do Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy versus Seth Rollins sounds amazing. And then you got people like Zack Ryder, Mojo Rawley, No Way Jose, I have R-Truth here. I don't even know why I have him here. Sorry. I'm happy I didn't include him on the main roster. Titus O'Neil, Nah. I'm not gonna. Nah, let's not do Titus O'Neil. I'd rather trust No Way Jose than Titus O'Neil. Sorry. But, yeah, that's not actually a bad mid-card main event scene. Again, it's all about how you experiment with it. Certain people can go to certain places, mid-card, main event, heel babyface. Experiment. Really see what we can do. Let's look at this women's division, though. Let's look at the women. For Raw, we got Nia Jax as the women's champion. But then you got Alexa Bliss, Alicia Fox, who I don't know if she's staying or leaving. We'll find out as time goes by. But you still got Bayley, Dana Brooke, Ember Moon, Liv Morgan. Again, Maria Kanellis. She's pregnant right now, but she might eventually come back. Natalya, Ronda Rousey, Ruby Riott, Sarah Logan, and Sasha Banks. Not a bad women's division. Very balanced. Now, clearly, the main focus of this division is Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey is the Stone Cold Steve Austin of the show. She is the show. So if you're going to base the show around Ronda Rousey, you need to have people for her to fight, characters for her to go up against, foils for people to get behind Ronda Rousey for. I'm looking at what we got. So far, the only person I see being a foil for her is Sasha Banks. Like, if you turn Sasha Banks heel, and you go full-fledged heel with Sasha Banks, you can make that work. Nia Jax, I don't think would be... Again, this is my opinion. I wouldn't buy Nia Jax as, like, the arch nemesis. Like, an arch nemesis type for Ronda Rousey. That's not something I would. Stephanie McMahon is basically her arch nemesis. Like, that woman is the Rita to her Power Rangers. And I think that works just well. But if Stephanie is going to be the one to give Ronda a hard time, she's going to need people to do it for her. Nia Jax is a short-term champion. We all know that. And I'm thinking to myself, other than Sasha, maybe Bayley? We can try Bayley if we turn her heel. We can do a story where Bayley feels she's being underappreciated because Ronda's there. Matter of fact, honestly, that would be a great story to do. Better yet, they're already doing the buddy, well, not even buddy. They're doing a mentor-student thing with Natalya and Ronda. I see the super chat, Mr. Michael. I'll get to you in just a second. Maybe we can do something with Bayley and Ronda. Maybe we do this long-term story where Bayley tries to befriend Ronda, and Ronda thinks, because she's awkward. You know, Bayley's a very awkward person in real life. So that friendship would be really cool if Ronda and Bayley were the tag team, and then maybe over time Bayley feels underappreciated. Maybe do like a Rock and Foley kind of thing where it's kind of like it's an awkward pairing, but then eventually she turns heel on her because she doesn't appreciate her. That would be good. Again, I'm just spitballing right now. Mr. Michael Law, what did your super chat say? How would you like to see Bray at the House of Hardy acting with Queen Rebecca, who used to be Sister Abigail? Wow. So basically, he's trying to make Rebby Sky his new Sister Abigail. Wow. That'd be a hell of a feud. Look, I like what I like what We Are Pro Wrestling said here too. He says we have to be careful about overexposing Ronda. We have to make her feel special. Exactly. Which is why it's important to do roster rotations. If you do roster rotations, Ronda will feel special. But at the same time, you don't want to Brock Lesnar her. Okay? You don't want to have her be there and not do anything but wrestle 4 or 5 times a year. No, she needs to wrestle more than that. At max 10. I think 10 is fair. That's at least once a month. Once a month is great. Like, if she wrestles once a month, I'm good. She doesn't have to wrestle every single pay-per-view. She can do it one time on Raw. 10 or 12 matches a year is great. 5 or 6 is not enough for Ronda. 10 or 12 is wonderful. That's once a month. She doesn't feel forced. And you can do something with that. I know a lot of people are scared that she's not gonna feel as special if we have her wrestle on a regular basis. 10 or 12 is fine for Ronda. But I'm also thinking about this when it comes to Ronda Rousey's story. Ruby Riott. That's a sleeper. That's a dark horse right there. We're not really giving Ruby Riott... nobody's really thinking about Ruby Riott right now, but we should. We need to give her more attention. This is a woman that I think, if given a microphone, could turn heads at any point in time. I think her being a nice foil for Ronda would be great. Matter of fact, that match sounds great. I want to see that match. Ruby Riott versus Ronda Rousey. And the build up to that, you give Ruby a microphone and you let her work. Get out of her way. Seriously, Ruby Riott is the kind of female talent. Ruby, here's a microphone. Talk about Ronda. Make this match sound great. Get out of her way. Just get out of her way. Let her work. I'm putting a lot of stock into Ruby Riott when I say that. I know, but I think she'll be great. So there's some things we can do here. We can do a lot of things with Ronda with this roster. But eventually, again, this is why I brought up my first request. Eventually, we need to get Charlotte on Raw. We gotta do Charlotte and Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania, and it should be the main event. It could possibly be a legit main event that we could see from the women's division that would legitimately warrant closing WrestleMania. I can't think of anything else right now. Maybe Asuka and Ronda, but Asuka lost her streak. I do think, for me, the best thing we can do is Ronda versus Charlotte at WrestleMania. Alright. So, not a bad women's division. Check out this tag team division, though. Watch this. We have Chad Gable and Jason Jordan on the same show. American Alpha. Bam. As heels. Now, they were awesome on NXT. But check this out. Did you know that they were originally heels that got turned babyface because the crowd loved them? I think those two as heels would be awesome on Raw. I think they would be great together on Raw, man. And then you can split them up and do a feud with them. IC Championship match, Chad Gable versus Jason Jordan. I'm there. So tag team, whatever. Ascension, Authors of Pain, Ziggler and McIntyre, like I said. The Revival, Fashion Police. There's a character team. I've always felt the Fashion Police were fit for Raw. I do think now that we're having them on a show that cares about characters a lot more than wrestling, that should definitely be where they fit. And then we got the Woken Universe, Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy. Titus Worldwide, which I think should split up soon. No, I'm joking. We'll keep them as a tag team as long as possible. And then Slater and Rhino. So, okay tag team division. But if I was looking at this, I would give the belts to Authors of Pain. I would. Just go ahead and give them the belts. I would love, if we ever do turn Roman Reigns heel, I would love to see him do a stable with the Authors of Pain. Oh, my goodness. Roman Reigns and the Authors of Pain as a stable? Let me check out something real quick. What is the heritage of the Authors of Pain? Let me see. Where were the Authors of Pain born? Okay, you didn't catch it. Let me ask this again. Where were the Authors of Pain born? Okay, it says here, Akam and Razor are from... Let me see. Combined weight. History. Where y'all from? Dag nabbit? Didn't say. I want to know what their heritage is, because I don't know if they're Samoan. They look like Islanders. Okay, someone do the research for me. I usually... says here... Okay, they're from... Okay, Middle Eastern. Doesn't say what... The Middle Eastern, I guess. Okay, maybe... I don't know if we can work with that, but that will still be a good stable to do. I would like to see that, for sure. So, that's Raw. Again, the potential for a good show is there. It's just all about experimenting with what you got. Then you look at SmackDown. Lord! So with SmackDown, check this out. Main event scene. I'm just going to say the main event. You got AJ Styles as the WWE Champion. Right now, AJ Styles is the WWE Champion. You got Andrade Cien Almas. Whew! Big Cass. Look, not a lot of people have high hopes for Big Cass. I think you should. I know a lot of people don't like him. I do. I think he's a good personality. I think him and Enzo would work even better. And by the way, speaking of Enzo, just to kind of sidetrack real quick, word got out that all those allegations of him being a rapist, of raping a girl, were dropped. Charges were dropped. He's good. So they might bring him back. I'm not saying they will, but they might. And he should come back to SmackDown and be with Big Cass, in my personal opinion. So, yeah, Enzo. And Big Cass would be great. But regardless of him coming back or not, I think Big Cass has always been a great personality. And I think he knows what needs to be done to make people love him or hate him. And the first feud we're going to do with him is a feud against Daniel Bryan. Which, let's do it. And I'll talk in a second about how we can make that work for Miz and Bryan going forward. But let's talk about the main event scene. So we got Big Cass. Then you can do Big E. If you ever decide to break up the New Day, you can do Big E. You can do Kofi Kingston too. Both of them are main event players. You also got Cesaro. You also got Sheamus. The two legit main event players. Randy Orton. Samoa Joe. Shelton Benjamin. The Miz. Shinsuke Nakamura. Like, I just gave you just straight up crazy names right there. Alongside them, you got John Cena and Undertaker. Once in a while, you'll get John Cena and Undertaker. What a main event scene. Like, literally, look at this. AJ Styles could fight Almas. He could fight Cesaro. Besides, you know, the usual people, Bryan. He already fought Orton, but he can fight him again as Orton might turn heel. I hope he turns heel. Shelton Benjamin versus AJ Styles sounds amazing. Nakamura and AJ, when they have their next match, should be great, because Nakamura's a heel this time. Miz versus AJ would be an amazing match. Maybe, just maybe, we could do Taker versus AJ. Look, if Taker's going to be here, and he's adamant about wrestling again, we have to do AJ versus Taker. We got to. At some point, we got to do Taker versus AJ. If he's going to be here. Otherwise, you need to go ahead and retire. Don't do this thing where Taker is here, but he's not really here. No. Okay? 5-minute matches are fine. If Taker's going to be here, eventually I need to see Undertaker versus AJ Styles. That needs to happen. That needs to happen eventually. And if he can't do that, really, dude, why are you here? Well, again, think about this. We got John Cena and Samoa Joe. We never got that match yet. Samoa Joe and John Cena. Joe and AJ. Bryan and Joe. Like, the possibilities are endless. I'm glad I see an Almas and Bryan. Y'all, I'm telling you. The possibilities are endless with this main event scene. They're endless. And guys, think about this. Imagine when we get Aleister Black and Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. Let's say all those guys come to SmackDown. Oh my goodness. If we get Black, Andrade, we already got Andrade. We get Black, Dream, Gargano, and Tommaso Ciampa on SmackDown. No words. No words. So that's the main event scene. That's just main event. Look at the mid-cards. Let's look at the mid-card. Again, same people. Only this time, Jeff Hardy's the champion. Which, by the way, I'm cool with that. I used to be on the mindset that you should never split up the Hardys. You should never split up the Hardys. They should be together all the time. But, now that they're both well-established, they're going into the Hall of Fame, why not? Why not let them have a singles run apart from each other? We can always bring them back together. So, Jeff Hardy, as the United States Champion, has a mid-card scene that can include Andrade Cien Almas, Big Cass, Big E, Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, Kofi Kingston, Randy Orton, R-Truth, Rusev. If they ever want to push Rusev as a main event player, that would work as well. But let it be as a babyface. I am sick and tired of them trying to make fans hate Rusev. Can we stop that, please? Tell you what. I used to ask fans to do this for me. It would be really cool if people took a second to make a snippet of this segment. Because I need to talk about Rusev. It makes no sense to me that you have a guy who organically gets over as a babyface. Who organically connects with the audience. He's selling out t-shirts like hotcakes. Everybody has a Rusev Day t-shirt. I recently just ordered one. It's coming in. Your boy Deluxe Man bought himself a Deluxe Man t-shirt, yes. But he also bought himself a Rusev Day t-shirt. It's coming. It's coming, ladies and gentlemen. You have this guy who, every town he goes to, gets huge, massive reactions of Rusev Day chants. You have this guy who the fans want to see succeed. They don't want to see him lose. They want to see him win. And here is WWE sabotaging. This isn't one of those, oh, we're ignorant. You know what you're doing. You're sabotaging him because he's getting over in a way you don't want him to get over. Can we please stop that? Stop telling talent they can't get over a certain way. You should be ashamed of yourselves. You should smack yourselves for even trying to do that. That's like telling Stone Cold Steve Austin, we want you to be a heel, you can't get over as a babyface. If they get over, run with it. And if they can't get over this way, try something different. Rusev is getting over as a babyface. Why are we booking him as a heel? It makes zero sense to me. It makes no sense. And at this point in time, if you continue to have Rusev be a heel, you are sabotaging not just him, you're sabotaging your roster, you're sabotaging your show, and you're sabotaging yourself. Keeping Rusev as a heel is sabotaging the WWE. It is. You're sabotaging yourself. And it's dumb. I don't understand why you do it. Why you continue to go against the grain in terms of who should be loved and who should be hated. Like I said, they should be in their right roles. Babyface Rusev would be amazing for SmackDown. Hell, if you do Babyface Rusev, I can see him going for the main event title. I can see him winning the main event championship, and I'd be okay with it. Guys, we got to try certain things out. Experiment. Stop trying to keep Rusev as a foreign heel. It doesn't work no more. I don't care that he's from Bulgaria. Isn't Hulk Hogan Irish? Let me actually see. Where was Hulk Hogan born?
Hulk Hogan was born in Augusta, Georgia.
Okay, well, okay, he's born here, but here he goes. He's French, Italian, Scottish. Yeah. He's more than Irish. Okay, so he's French, Italian, Pomeranian, Irish, Scottish. Okay, so he's a mixture of everything. All right. Just because they were born from a different country doesn't mean they have to be foreign heels. Can we please do something more creative with Rusev? Try him out as a babyface. If it gets boring, if it gets old, turn him back to being a heel. You can go back to being a heel, but go with what works right now. For real, man. Just stop trying to sabotage Rusev. But alongside Rusev, you got Sin Cara, you got Xavier Woods. I don't ever see Xavier Woods really being a main event player. Maybe a manager of a main event player, but not really a main event player. You can also try Miz, Benjamin, Sheamus, Joe. You can mix it up. Mid-card, main event picture. With the women's division, though, check this out. Check out the women's division on SmackDown. We got Carmella right now as the heel champion. We got Asuka. That's a huge pick. You got Becky Lynch. We got Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, the Iconics. Apparently, Iconics are spelled with 2 eyes. What's with SmackDown having 2 eyes? Just 2 letters, period. Core has 2 R's. Freaking Ruby Riot. Riot Squad had 2 T's. Iconics 2 eyes. Because that's creative. Sure. Charlotte. Lana. Again, I still think Charlotte eventually will go to Raw. But right now, being on SmackDown works. Mandy Rose. Hopefully she's a singles competitor. Isn't really doing anything with Sonya Deville. Naomi. Tamina. Zelina Vega if you wanted to. Zelina. And Ty Dillinger. I miss Ty Dillinger. I don't know why I put him with the women's division. I actually had Ty Dillinger in the women's division. I'm sorry, y'all. I should be ashamed of myself. That's how irrelevant he is. So Ty Dillinger, I'm going to put in the mid-cards. He might block me on Twitter for that. Hopefully he's not watching this video. Ty Dillinger I have in the mid-cards for the U.S. Championship. That would actually be a good feud to have. Ty Dillinger versus Jeff Hardy. If he turned heel, maybe. So, shame on me. SmackDown Tag Team Division. We have the Bludgeon Brothers. Harper and Rowan. Who are the Tag Team Champions. They can face Cesaro and Sheamus. the bar. Epico and Primo. I don't know where the hell Epico and Primo went. Where is Epico and Primo? I know it will never happen, but I still hope one day Carlito comes back to WWE and we do the Colognes. Carlito, Epico, and Primo. Man, that'd be a good stable to have. It really would. Fashion Police are no longer on SmackDown, but in its place we got Karl Anderson and Luke Gallows. That works for me. Again, the club. Them and AJ. You got Rusev Day. Rusev and Aiden English. You got The New Day. Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Big E. The Usos, Jimmy and Jay. Honestly, the reason why I haven't split these guys into singles is because I don't think they should do singles. They're an awesome tag team. They should stay a tag team. And then Sanity coming in. Eric Young, Killian, Dain, and Alexander Wolfe. That is actually a solid tag team. I don't know. It just feels like to me, both tag team divisions they're not great. They're not horrible either, but they still feel, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? I feel like both divisions could use a little bit more tag teams. Just a little bit more. So, I hope over time we get to fill up the divisions. NXT honestly is lacking in tag teams the more I think about it as well. So we'll see. As a tag team, in terms of tag teams in WWE, as a tag team fan, I'm a little worried about WWE. I mean, the Hardy Boys, you got Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy, but the Hardy Boys are split up. Like, I don't know what they're going to do, but let's see what they can do going forward. Hopefully this actually does work out in their favor. So, yeah, there you go, man. That right there is the roster. So, as I promised, we're at the end of the road. Let's talk about the top 10 matches I want to see. Top 10 matches I would like to see here in 2018 with this new roster. So, what you guys got? What matches did you guys give me? Hopefully I can go all the way back and see them. I should be able to. Or maybe not. I don't think here. Oh, man. I can't go all the way back. The chat's full. Everybody's doing such a good job in commenting and interacting with each other. Well, that's what's going to happen. All right. Well, thank you for just giving me the matches again. You guys can put the matches down again. That'd be great. Let's see. Samoa Joe and AJ Styles. Absolutely. Daniel Bryan and Samoa Joe. Absolutely. Joe and Orton. Who's the heel? Who's the face? AJ, Joe, and Cesaro. Cesaro versus Cien Almas. AJ versus Jeff. Joe versus Bryan. These are all good matches. All these are really good matches. And by the way, I'm reading your live chat while writing down my top 10. I'm just putting them down on paper for right now. But we'll see. Like, we definitely gotta have a top 10. But Daniel Bryan versus Samoa Joe, I do like that. I do like AJ versus Samoa Joe. That's for sure. I like this triple threat idea. Styles versus Joe versus Bryan. Lord have mercy. Let's get crazy. Let's get all kinds of crazy. Bryan versus Cesaro. Cesaro versus AJ. I like that. Keep going. Has that even happened before yet? I don't think that's actually happened yet. Cesaro versus AJ. AJ versus Taker. Absolutely. I would love to see Joe versus Taker. I don't know if that's going to happen yet. You know what? I'll put that down there. Joe versus Undertaker. I'm cool with that. I mean, if Taker's going to be here. AJ Styles versus Cien Almas. I like that. Andrade. Cien Almas. Let's see here. I'm trying to see what else we can come up with. Rollins versus Zayn. I've seen that before. Nakamura versus... Oh my goodness, absolutely. Nakamura versus Daniel Bryan. You gotta have that one on there. Absolutely. How come nobody is saying Bryan versus Miz? I guess that's just predictable. Everybody just kind of suspects that. But that's definitely a match I would do. Bryan versus Miz? That could be feud of the year, y'all. Come on. Let's see here. Nakamura versus Almas. Bryan versus Cien. Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles. That would be an awesome match, honestly. I do like that. And most of these matches, honestly, are coming from SmackDown. I don't really have matches from Raw I want to see. Maybe Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. That's one. I'll put that down there. Sure, that's definitely a match I would pay good money to see. Let's see here. I'm trying to see what other matches stick out to me. These are some really good matches, by the way, guys. Jeff versus Shinsuke, Jeff versus Luke, Drew versus Roman. Ooh! There we go! Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns. That's a Roman Reigns match I want to see. Oh, that sounds like it's gonna be a great match, actually. I like that. Jeff versus Joe. Already got that. Kevin Owens versus Braun Strowman. No offense. Rollins versus AJ. It would be a nice cross-promotional match. Let's see here. Heel Ambrose, of course. Oh, yeah. Heel Ambrose versus Seth Rollins. I guess we would also want Heel Ambrose versus Roman Reigns. Okay. Let's put this is a good list, by the way. Now it's just organizing them. Rollins versus Miz versus Joe, Eric Young versus Nakamura. I think we're good. I mean, for the most part, I pretty much have everything down of matches we would like to see. I think if I have to narrow this down, let me see. Andrade, Cien, Almas. Okay, so here we go. I think this is good. This is good for a top 10. So let's start off with my number 10 pick. I think number 10, again, there really isn't like a rank between the match I want to see the most to the match I want to see the least. It's really just what I can think of based off of what we got. I think eventually we gotta see Cesaro versus AJ. We gotta see that. That will probably be my number 10 for now. Cesaro versus AJ Styles is definitely a number 10 match because I don't think we've actually seen that match in WWE yet. I'm trying to think about that. We haven't seen that match yet, so that's definitely a match we gotta get. We will be seeing heel Dean Ambrose versus Rollins, that's for sure. We'll make that number 9. That's a good match to see. I'm really liking Drew versus Roman Reigns. Everybody's still giving me some good matches. Oh, Chad Gable versus Finn Balor. Chad versus Seth Rollins. Oh, that's another good match right there. Man. Chad versus Rollins. Let me think about that one. I'll put that one on the list, by the way. Wow, that sounds like it'll be a killer goddamn match. But, alright, so heel Ambrose versus heel Rollins. Absolutely. I think that will probably be a feud of the year contender, for sure. I'm trying to think, like, I know what matches I want on the list. I know I want Nakamura and Bryan on the list, but I want to save them for later on. I know I want Bryan and Miz. I want Joe and Cena. So those 3 are on the list. Those 3 are definitely on the list. I'll put Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar at number 8. Let's do that. Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar. That's actually not a bad match to have at number 8. Let's do an Almas match. Let's do Daniel Bryan versus Andrade Cien Almas. That's for sure. Okay, so 3 more before we get to Nakamura, Bryan, Miz and Bryan, Joe and Cena. Because those 3 matches are on the list, those for sure. Let me see. Let's see here. Hey Jay, I do like that triple threat. I do like Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan. I think that, Jesus Christ, that's an awesome match. I do like that. That'd be great. Okay, so that's number 6. I gotta put this one on here. AJ Styles versus Undertaker. If Taker's gonna be there and he's gonna be wrestling, we gotta do that match. We gotta do Taker and AJ. Jeff Hardy. We need a Jeff Hardy match. Jeff Hardy and AJ? Maybe? Yeah, let's go with it. Again, I'm just kind of. Although Jeff Hardy versus AJ, I have seen before. I'll tell you what I have not seen before. I haven't seen Chad Gable and Seth Rollins. You know what? I'm putting that on the list. I'm going to make it low. I'll make that number 9. So my new number 9 is... Well, no. That's my new number 10. My new number 10 is Chad Gable versus Seth Rollins. Because I'm happy I saw that. I have not seen that yet. Seth Rollins. And then it just moves the list up. Number 9 is Cesaro versus AJ. Number 8 is heel Ambrose versus Rollins. Number 7 is Lashley versus Lesnar. Number 6 is Bryan versus Almas. Number 5 is the triple threat Joe versus Styles versus Bryan. 4 is AJ versus Taker, not Cena. We already saw AJ versus Cena. And then, of course, how would I organize this one? Daniel Bryan, what do I want to see more? Do I want to see Joe versus Cena more than... No, I don't. Number 3 is Joe versus Cena. Like, that's a match we gotta do. Like, eventually, that might be a WrestleMania match. And the feud itself, the build-up for that would be amazing. Okay? And then we gotta do Daniel Bryan versus Miz, which I'm guaranteeing you will be feud of the year. And then, ultimately, we would have to get to Shinsuke Nakamura versus Daniel Bryan. Like, that's number 1 for me. Like, that right there would be a hell of a match. Nakamura versus Daniel Bryan. Lord. So that's not a bad top 10 list. That's not a bad top 10 list at all. I like that list that I got. So, alright. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's my top 10. That's my breakdown. Again, I'm going in optimistic because I want the shows to be good. I want to come out feeling like 2018 is going to be a great year for WWE, and I don't want to go in with negative thoughts that this is going to suck, it's not going to be as good as last year. No. That's not what I want to do. I want to come out feeling, by the end of 2018, I want to come out feeling this was a good year of wrestling. For everybody. WWE, Lucha Underground, New Japan Pro Wrestling, NXT, PWG, ROH, everybody. I want wrestling to be fun again. Okay? I know I'm a critic. You can call me a mark, whatever you want to call me. I want to have fun. I want to have fun with my product. That's all I care about. That's all I care about. And hopefully you guys will join me in trying to have a good year for wrestling. So, that's all I got for you guys today. I will be back up here later on for my NXT review. Watch out for that. So, we'll get more from your boy. But as for this video, if you want more, subscribe, like the video, comment down below. First off, your thoughts on the results. Who are you excited about? What superstars are you excited about the most in 2018? What matches do you want to see come from this? And what show do you think will come out as the better show? Are you like me, you kind of want both shows to be good and you expect the best from everybody? So give me your thoughts about this down below. Talk to me in the comments. But most importantly, subscribe, like the video. Please like the video. And if you watched it all, hashtag I watched it all. Those of you in the live chat, when this video is up in the comment section, I watched it all and I will show you some love. As always. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later on. Tune in for more views. Views? What? Tune in for more videos. And your boy, Do X-Men's World. Take it easy. Peace.